WCCB News at 6 starts now on Charlotte CW.
A focus tonight on safety across the Queen City. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ashley Anderson. CMPD will have extra officers on watch tonight following last night's protest in the West Kerrick mistrial. Those protests started peacefully, but officers say it changed to more aggressive demonstrations as the night wore on. Some protesters wearing bandanas over their faces went face to face with officers in riot gear. Around 9 p.m., demonstrators began throwing rocks at officers, and a short time later, 2 suspects were arrested for assaulting officers.
They were seeing and hearing all kinds of things that we probably would prefer not to see and hear, but they acted appropriately, and I think it was because of the reps they've given in that training leading up to what we saw last night.
The officers assaulted Friday were not seriously injured. City officials say last night's policing was some of the best they've ever seen. CMPD is on patrol across Uptown after last night's protest. They're working to keep things safe as fans pack the area for tonight's Panthers game. WCCB Charlotte's Marvin Beach joins us from Bank of America Stadium with more on the atmosphere and the safety efforts. Hi, Marvin.
Ashley, fans are tailgating and having a good time, but CMPD officers are keeping a close eye out for any demonstrators who may look to cause disruptions like they did last night at BB&T ballpark and near the transit center. Now, CMPD Chief Putney says you will see lots of officers around Bank of America Stadium tonight. This, of course, all in reaction to yesterday's mistrial in the voluntary manslaughter case of CMPD officer Wes Kerrick. Jurors told the judge they were deadlocked on the verdict, and for the first time tonight, we're getting insight from one of the jurors. I spoke with Moses Wilson, who was one of 4 who wanted to find Wes Kerrick guilty. The other 8 voted not guilty. Wilson told me about the emotional toll this trial took on him and on the other jurors.
You see it until you go home, and the vision that you have before you go to sleep are the videos or are what you discussed. Then you get up and you do it again. Everyone did that.
Tonight after the game, why this juror says justice was not served and why he's calling the defense's arguments racist. Now, we'll also be monitoring security here around Bank of America Stadium at any protests that develop. For now, we're live at Uptown Charlotte. Marvin Beach, WCCB News.
Thanks, Marvin. The state must now decide if they will retry the case or not. We could find out about that as soon as Monday. Meanwhile, Wes Kerrick's defense is saying more tonight about the mistrial in his voluntary manslaughter case. They sent us this statement, which says in part, all of the jurors, regardless of how they voted, were cautious, considerate, and deliberate. It is citizens such as these that make our justice system work. We thank you. Remember, you can count on the WCCB Charlotte trial team for continuing coverage as the state decides whether to retry the case against Officer Kerrick.